talk about is the one thing we must talk about is about the business idea. It's
I think
important that
yes.
we understand the necessity. So, plan necessary. It is necessary because the plan shows the entrepreneur a guide on what is expected to be done, how it's expected to be done, and all the rest of it. And I went further to say that the business plan is especially important because apart from providing you with clear set goals and objectives, it is a reference point that you can return to. I'm sure I've already talked about this. Now I looked at 9 points that you must follow to successfully carry out your business. And the first thing I said was you must get yourself prepared. Secondly, I said carry out a feasibility study. A feasibility study tries to help you to ascertain how valuable the business idea you have is and the opportunities that are available in that particular industry. Thirdly, I said write down a good business plan. I've talked about all this in the last class. So for today, I also said if you must do a good business, you must get yourself familiar with the market, which means understanding who the major players in that industry are and how you can swindle among the major competitors to make something out of it. Then I went forward to talk about um, what next did I talk about? I talked about securing a good location. I also talked about licensing your business, registering your business, no matter how little. I mentioned the startup capital and finance, and I told you that it's important that you don't borrow because as a beginner, you don't know what the turnover of that business is. Borrowing in our economy today comes with a lot of issues and challenges. Take, for example, on almost every social media platform, you see a mirage of different companies who are in the business of borrowing people. Now, when you go and borrow without an understanding of the turnover, then you don't have a plan of how to pay. And so your business is at risk of losing completely. Because before you talk about borrowing, you must understand the dynamics of the business, the turnover. Let's assume that I have a transport company and my transport company runs Port Harcourt to Umaya. Before I joined the industry, there may have been one or two, three people who run Port Harcourt to Umaya, who is already known or who are already known. For me to survive, I had to first of all use my own vehicle so that I understand the cost of fuel that it will take somebody who is driving a car from Maya to Port Harcourt. Understand the number of checkpoints on the road so that I may understand or have knowledge of the amount I used to have to use to settle the security men on the road before I talk about making profit. But if I just discuss with somebody and say, oh my had they pay, If you carry 18 passenger, 20,000 for example, how much is that? You calculate. See money. You didn't check about the money in the park, the money for the loaders, the money for fuel, the money for settlement on the road. And so on the basis of that, you can go and borrow and tell a bank to give you 200 million to buy 10 vehicles with the mindset of what you have heard, not taking down what the actual income is. You will go bankrupt, because on the basis of this, you are going to give the bank high hope that come what may, I'm going to meet up and I'm going to pay whatever it's due me to pay. But at this juncture, you cannot pay because you didn't understand the dynamics of it. The basis of your borrowing is in the gross, not in the net profit. And so this affects business. And that's the why we are saying that it is important that you look for startup capital. And when you're looking for it, don't go to borrow. Use family and friends. Now, look at one thing we said here. There are numbers of ways to source for business startup capital. But the truth is that it will mostly depend on the magnitude of the business. If you don't have your startup capital, you may resort to borrowing either for friends or from bank. In this regard, you have to be cautious to avoid starting your business on the wrong foot of bad debt. Debt is only good when the money will be invested for cash flow or capital gain. You can also look for leverage. The fastest way to grow in business is to leverage on the structure of well-established businesses. So if you must go to start, you leverage on the name that is already existing. So if you want to grow faster, then look for leverage. Instead of starting your own transport company, what do? You pick up your vehicle, you go and register with a company that is existing, which we call franchise, to use their name to operate. So you can understand the dynamics of how it works before you can go in. Then I said, leverage apart from getting a bank loan can be in the form of getting credit line from suppliers, striking strategic alliance. You get a job to supply a particular number of goods. You don't have that money. So what do? You go and meet a man who has a capital or who deals on that product. He said, okay, I have a job for this and this. Instead, I have brought the job. You do the supply. Let's change the documents. Let the money be paid into your account because you are the one who is going to handle it. By the time we finish this business, this is the percentage you give to me. Then we have an agreement signed, sealed, and delivered, so that I ensure that I'm able to deliver and get some units or profit. And so, no matter what leverage you decide to pursue, go for it. A man called Igwe in 2017 has it on a good account that to mobilize resources effectively, consideration must be given to 3 elements, which together are referred to as a resource mobilization framework. These 3 elements are resources, mechanism, and resource providers. You may have the resources, which is the money. Money is one of the key resources that all projects need to be able to function and carry out their work. However, there are other resources that are also useful to starting up businesses. The staff you want to use and what have you. But basically, what I'm saying is that you need to look for startup capital, but don't base on bank. Don't base on bank. Then the last that I said that day, I said when you're starting, start small. And I made an analogy. I told you that most Nigerian entrepreneurs can only dream, but if very few dare to take the risk out of the dream. So start it small. Start with what you can control. 2 motorcycles to do your logistics. So that in doing their work, you are understanding the dynamics of the business and how it happens. So having said that, it is important to go to the next line of this lecture. I just did a refreshing. Now I'm going to be talking to you about entrepreneurship and planning. Have you ever heard the word planning before? I'm sure I taught this class because I sang a song when I taught this class, I cannot remember. How many of you remember the song I sang? Do I have a Magnus Okeke in this class?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, the
Magnus
doctor.
Okeke.
Yes, sir, doctor. I'm here,
Ricky.
sir. Yes, sir. I'm
Ricky.
here, sir. Good evening,
Okay,
sir. Good
thank you
evening,
very
doc.
much. Good evening. Thank you for being here. Now, how
Thank
many
you,
of you
sir.
remember
God
the
bless you, sir.
song? The song I sang in the last class. Olatunde. Olatunde, please can you? Okay, thank you. Just mute your line. Thank you. How many of you remember the song I sang in the last class? Because I'm beginning to remember what I taught now. How many of you remembers? Okay, since you don't remember, I will sing it again. I won't be Oga. If you want be better, Oga, open your ear. Hear your people, oh. Now then put you there, oh. How many of you remember that song I sang that day? How many
Yes,
of
sir.
you
We
remember?
remember, sir. I remember,
You
sir.
remember?
We remember, but
Oh, you
it
thought I
sounded like
forgot.
a political song.
It's not a political song, Teresa. This was a song that late newscaster in Radio Rivers 2, FM Stereo, Boma Erekosima used to sing. Now, Boma Erekosima made a statement. He said, he who has failed to plan has already what?
Glad to fail.
Glad to feel.
Beautiful. You are a Port Harcourt boy. That's why you know it. He who has failed to plan has already planned to fail. And so,
Plan to fail.
entrepreneurship and planning, no entrepreneur can ever succeed or survive without planning. One thing I'm thanking God now is that I have a very good entrepreneur that is in your midst. So a lot of the things I'm going to be saying, he'll be calculating in his mind. I managed to know them. And so I will have another discussion with him.
I can
Now,
relate. I can relate perfectly, sir.
Okay. Planning is a very essential aspect of any human endeavor. So for any business venture to succeed, it must be built on the basis of planning. And what is the plan? What is a plan? A plan is a carefully laid down, written down procedure, strategy on how a business can come to reality. A carefully laid down strategy on how a target that you have set can be achieved. It could either be in business, it could be in your personal life, it could be in your relationship, it could be in any endeavor of your life. But it must be, for it to be a plan, it has to be written down. Because plans don't stay in the head. I made a scriptural reference to this. He said, write down the vision, make it plain. Whatever you have in your mind is not a plan. Whatever you have in your mind is not a plan. It's an assumption. It's a wish. There's a difference between a wish and a plan. And so until it is written down, I said yes, that for it to be called a plan, then it has to be written down. And sequence, which is in the order of importance, of necessity, based on what the business inventor intends to achieve. When I was teaching this, because I did it again, I told you, basically, that this is the essence why you need a business plan. So planning is one aspect of business startup kit that is taken for granted by most business operators. And so if you must have your business, you have to plan it. At what stage am I? What stage do I want to be in the next 3 years? What are the things that I need to do to move to that next 3 years? You make what is called business projection. What is my share capital today? How am I going to improve that capital to survive in the business environment? Knowing that in the Nigerian business environment today, you can buy 100 units of a product, and by the next 3 weeks, you go to the same market. What that money you have can only buy could be about 50 or 60 units of the same product. And that in turn affects your profit. In so many cases, you make an investment, you buy a particular product, it stays with you for about 6 months before it is being sold. And so this is the reason why you must understand the nitty-gritty of the business you're doing. And that takes me to what I want to teach today, because what I want to teach today is not planning, to what is called mentoring. But be that as it may, planning is a process of development which can be done as an individual, a business outfit, or a corporate organization. In the year 1966, a man called Friedman defined planning to be an activity through which man in a society tries to have control and master himself to change through his future, to change his future through reasoning. Anybody who fails to plan has already planned to fail. Akobo, please, can you mute your mic?
Oh, I'm
Please
sorry,
mute.
sir.
There's a lot of noise coming from that background. Thank you. And so, it is important. It's that the essence of a plan is to make man to be able to control, to have control and master himself to change his future through reasoning. If you don't plan, you can't master your business, because your plan is a guide. Tell me about a man who wants to build a house and he just goes there and says, open the ground. Open the ground to do what? There must be a plan. The plan tells him about what he wants to build, how he wants to build, and what he requires to do it. Now, take note that once any business venture is not built on planning, it therefore cannot bring about change. This is because entrepreneurs are people who fight for change and respond to make changes. Hence, not planning means not bringing change, which is a result of not having control over the business. And so, therefore, every entrepreneur must first set out the plan if he must be effective, because the plan shows that the entrepreneur is innovative. Remember, I told you that when you want to do business, don't do business because your friend is in that business. You do business because you want to bring a change, a solution, with the intent of making profit. You want to bring a solution. Everywhere in the city today, you are seeing riders. Nobody's interested in going to the market to buy. They call a customer and say, send a rider. So the rider, a lot of the riders are not effective because they are not registered. They are not owned by people who understand the business of transportation. But you are a transport guru. You have an office somewhere. It may be the office that you use in your company. You can use that office as your business office for a startup. It may not be the reporting center, but anybody who is doing business and say, my office is at number so and so in so and so business complex. He knows that when he's doing business with you, he's doing business with a person who has an address.
Who has an address? Yes.
No good entrepreneur can survive without an address, because your address, first of all, gives the people dealing with you the assurance that you are not going to run away. It gives the people the hope that you have come to stay, to provide service. Nobody wants to meet somebody who will provide service today, and in the next 1 year, when his business is gaining ground, the person who gives him that service is no longer there. He begins to look for another person. Nobody wants to do that. And so plans do not need to be ambiguous, but precise and specific. This is why with advancement technology, which is an aiding tool, every business plan must consider the smart ideology. Ensure that you set goals that can be achievable. Don't just go and set goals. Set goals that are achievable, goals that are measurable, goals that are relevant, and set time for everything you want to get. In planning for in entrepreneurship development, planning is a veritable tool that should not be overlooked. First, planning in entrepreneurship is the first milestone that must be achieved in the execution of a good business venture. Planning emphasizes making a decision about how you are going to start, how you will grow, and the future of the business. It tells you and it gives you an idea of what to do, how to do, what to do, who to do, where to do, and when to do of the business. Therefore, at every level, there are already answers to this question, because these were part of the plan and have taken care of from inception. And so, when you're planning, I told you earlier on, it is important to know that not all business ideas are good and can go through. Therefore, your business idea must be based on 4 principles. 1, your expertise. What is it that you like doing? What is it that you're currently doing? What is it that you have passion for? Secondly, how much money and time are you willing to put into that business? 3, your product and service acceptability. If people are already bringing product in the market and the product they are bringing is already expensive, you now go and bring a product that is higher than what they already have in the market. How will it go? It will not go. The product you're about to create or the service that you require to render, is it acceptable to the consumers? This must be taken seriously as an important aspect of your business plan. Your products and service affordability. Let a product be what people within that class can buy. Let it be what they can buy. And so under there, you can see what a business plan, an outlay of a business plan. And I said that a business plan is an essential roadmap for business success. It is the written description of your business future, a document that tells you what you plan to do and how you plan to do it. If you jot down a paragraph on the back of an envelope describing your business strategy, you have written a plan, at least the gem of a plan. So business plans are inherently strategic. You start here today with certain resources and ability. You get to where you want to get to tomorrow. So your plan shows you how you will get from where you are to where you want to go. And so right down there, if you check your book, the book that I already gave you people, in chapter 5 of it, you'll see what a business plan needs to be like and all that is required for a business plan. So take note of that, because I'm going to something different now. I'm going to be teaching you something, and I want you to take it very serious. Yeah. I want to talk about something that is related to what we're already discussing, and that is entrepreneurship and mentoring. Have you ever heard the word mentoring before? Hello,
Yes,
sir.
Doc. I've heard the word mentoring.
Thank you.
Yes,
So
Doctor.
what does
Very
it
well
mean? What does it
mentored.
mean? What
Doc,
does it mean?
I've not gotten the book too. The book you're talking about, I've not gotten the book.
The course rep will make it available to you.
Thank you, sir.
So what do you know about mentoring?
Mentoring is an art of coaching or bringing somebody up to date to. That's in my head. Oh, mentor is an art of
So it will have
bringing.
been from which person's head? It will have been from which person's head?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
Okay. To talk from my own head. Talk from my head.
It's an art of bringing to bring somebody up to date to your level of reasoning and understanding, especially in a particular, like there could be a political mentor, there could be a business mentor, there could be an academic mentor. So that's
Okay.
what I understand mentorship.
Thank you. Those of you in
You're
the
welcome.
class, did you hear what he said?
Welcome,
Yes,
sir.
I do.
Yes.
Those of you in the class, did you hear what?
Yes, Prof.
Yes, sir.
But
Okay.
it can also mean
Now,
supporting and
like
guiding
he
and
said,
advising someone that is less experienced to
Yes,
learn in
I
a
agree.
particular field. It can also mean guiding,
beautiful.
supporting, or advising someone who is less in the
You
experience,
are
someone
very
that look up
correct.
to you, a novice.
Yeah,
Now the
you're correct.
question is, Teresa Emodi, how many people have you mentored?
I'm a president of a Lions Club, and I can boldly say that I have 45 members that look up to me to guide them in the way of Lionism.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm happy to hear that because I already know.
Yes, because when there is a need, there's always a lion, sir.
Lionism.
He's already in the business of mentoring, even though his own level of understanding, like he said, he's talking from his head. I don't know where he would have talked from, because my own head may not carry what he wants to say. Now, when you plan in entrepreneurship, when you set up plans, one of the plans that must work with you is a plan called the plan of succession. The plan of what? Succession. If I am not in that job in a week, can it still run? If I'm not in the office for a month, can the office still move? Because if you don't have a plan for succession, it is difficult for the business to stand the test of time. How many of you ever heard about Coca-Cola? How many of you have heard of Coca-Cola?
Yeah, we all do, sir.
How many years do you think Coca-Cola is?
Over 100 years.
Beautiful. How many of you have heard about DHL?
We have heard of her.
Do you know how many years DHL is? It's over 100 years.
Yeah, it's over 100 years, sir.
How many of you ever heard about the company called Xerox?
Xerox computer.
Xerox are producer. Yeah, I know the company. Xerox, yes.
Is
I
it
know
still
the
existing?
To a large extent, no, they are not. They are not 100% because I think they deal with stationaries. Stationary.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to ask another question. How many people know about Ekene Delechuku Transport Company?
I know Ekene Chukwuka Transport Company.
Dead and gone.
Is this still existing?
It's dead, though. It's dead. We used to call it longer days, longer nights those days.
Okay. Now, with what the names I've called, you can see where mentoring failed and where it succeeded. In the Nigerian business environment, one challenge that have been identified is the challenge of mentoring, especially in current time. Entrepreneurship can be seen as the capacity and willingness to develop, organize, and manage a business venture, along with the risk in order to make profit. But be that as it may, the most obvious example of entrepreneurship is starting a new business, either buying and selling, production, whatever it is, and sustaining it. But this can only be effective. This can only be effective if the individual is well mentored in the business of trade of interest. If you're not mentored, let me ask another question. You know, today, this night, I'm very hot too. Have you heard what we call the Osoahia technology? In your
yes,
life?
Yes.
I didn't
Yes,
ask
sir.
you.
Yes, sir.
I didn't ask you. How many of you have heard the Osoahia technology? Who are the people in this class?
We are here, sir. I've not heard of Osaya, sir.
Thank you.
I'm hearing it for the first time, sir.
If I have not heard of Osaya technology, then you are not a businessman. So you have to come for a special class.
No, Osaya is like a slang that they use, all these boys that run middleman in the market.
You don't know that it's a technology?
Oh, first.
How can you do Osaya technology when you have not been mentored? the middleman must first of all understand the business because he can start middling. Are you getting me now?
Yes, sir.
So when we talk about mentoring, we're saying that for anybody to be effective in his business, he must be well mentored. Many universities, government, and industry participants have started programs which include mentorship as a key component in increasing entrepreneurship. Studies have also suggested that informal mentoring is most effective than formal programs. Now you are in school. It's not anybody's any lecturer's responsibility to make sure you pass. It's not any lecturer's responsibility. But if you come to the workshop and bring one packet of biscuit, 2 cartons of malt, 1 wine, and maybe 300,000 naira, and say you want to learn work, your family brings you to me. Whether I have the responsibility to make sure that you learn that trade. Uncle Ike, yes or no?
Excellently well, sir.
Why? Because first of all, money I've collected the responsibility money to make you learn it. If you don't learn it, it should now be on the grounds that it is your own fault, not my fault as a mentor. And so, mentoring emphasizes the ability of a trainer to create himself or herself in the trainee. You pour yourself out in the one you are training. And that is the only way we can sustain entrepreneurship development. A man called Eber in 2010 defined mentorship as a developmental-oriented interpersonal relationship that is typically between a more experienced individual, a mentor, and a less experienced individual, the protege. So many people have written so many things about this, and I tell them that, look, entrepreneurship is not by writing inside the book, and that's why my book is unique. It's called Introduction to a Practical Approach to Entrepreneurship Development. Practical. The man who has not sold anything in the market before because he has a PhD in business management is now writing what he saw on the paper. Does he know what is a profit and loss? Does he know what is what does he know what
practical experience?
Back pocket expenditure? Has he ever heard that slang before? Try. Has he ever heard that slang before? You have to understand.
Interpret, Prof. Please, interpretation.
Okay, I'm going to interpret it. You know,
Thank you, sir.
I grew up in the market. Because I grew up in the market, we have a tradition in the market. In the morning, everybody is hustling. In the afternoon, everybody is trying at least to make something happen. Why? Because in the evening, according to Deme, my friend, when we return back, we must gather. That's what we mean. We walk in the sun. And in the evening, at later evening, we come to make merry. The man who didn't work cannot marry of anything. Are you getting me now? And
yes,
so,
sir.
Mentoring is a very important aspect of a business. Now, if you take a statistics of all the business in GRA, Romola, Bacha Road, you will see that most of the people who own the businesses, they are just there changing money. Why? Because they tell their husband, who is a politician, I want to have a shop along a Lekoya housing estate. The man bring money and give them. I want to follow my friend, go to Dubai. I want to be selling here. That woman never went to the sit down to see the difference between expression, color 1, color 2, color 3, natural human hair, and what the rest of the names they call it. But it's just based on the fact that because my friend owns a saloon, I want to own a saloon. No experience. Nobody mentored you. I told you last time that the difference between a bag of rice and a bag of rice. So, did I say it in this class?
Yes, sir.
Did I say such in this class? There's a bag of rice of nine. What do you call it? 9 custard rubber. There's a bag of rice of 12 custard rubber. There's a bag of rice of short rice. There's a bag of rice of long grain. If you don't understand the difference between one and the other, you can't do the business, because every business has a secret.
That's what.
Even when you go to buy cement, there's a difference between a sandbag and a refill. If you are not experienced in the business, you go there and they just carry 100 bags of refill and load to you. In that 100 bags of refill, you have succeeded in buying 75 bags, losing 25 bags. Uncle Ike, don't ask me how I know.
You know everything, sir.
So this is the reason why you need a mentor. You need a mentor. Now, for you who is a transportant, are you aware that when they bring in second-hand vehicles into this country, there's a place in Lagos called the Dumota, where the vehicle, if it is accidented or has 1 or 2 faults, they go there and do some works on it and bring it back like it is just coming anew. You also know that there's a difference between white and blue gum. When they have to open an engine because it is bad to do some little work on the engine, you use a white because it is assumed that's the Igbo color. It has never been opened before. Am I teaching transport people?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
I am not talking to you.
Yes, sir. We are with you, sir.
For everything you want to do, you need to be mentored. You must bring yourself. Even the Bible wrote it, Apostle Paul said, study to show thyself approved.
Approved, yeah.
The workman that needed not to be ashamed.
Rightly dividing the word of truth. How do you divide the word of truth when you are not mentored? So mentoring gives business success. Any man who is mentored in a business succeeds more than the man who is not mentored. Succeeds more. Because the mentor pours himself into the mentee. And I have a lot of information in the textbook. When you look at it, you see. But let me say this to you. Mentoring could be seen as a process in which an experienced person assists in training or giving general support role towards the building of another. A mentor formulates ways through which he will drive his expatriate ideas to his mentee by applying the following. A mentor shares information. A mentor provides contact. He shares in the challenges. He supports the mentee. He helps him to set goals. Let me tell you a story now. You see, this is why a lot of times I love my Igbo brothers, even though I'm not an Igbo man. I love my Igbo brothers. Every Christmas, as they are traveling to the village, they go and pick 1 or 2 of their sister children from another area.
Sorry, Prof. I have a question, sir.
Go ahead.
Prof, sorry, but you bear an Igbo name, and you say you are not an Igbo man.
I'm not an Igbo man. Don't go that side. Not an Igbo.
Don't go that side.
I'm an Ikwere man. My name is Gift Ogonda Chukoka.
Okay, Ogonda. Oh, okay.
Ogonda, not Ogonda.
I know the Ogondas.
So you can see now that I'm not an Igbo.
Oh, thank you, sir.
But that does not take away the fact that we do business together. Now they go to the village and they pick their brother, Uchenna from one of their mother's sister, and Okechukwu from the other side. They bring them to the shop. the boys begin to learn, understudy them once in a while. In that study, they send one out to go to China with their money to go and study how many of you have ever seen a phone charger they call Oraimo?
I've seen it. I
Phone
have one, sir.
product they call Oraimo.
I've seen it. I have one.
Okay. Do you know the meaning of the word Oraimo?
Not at all.
Okay. Uncle Ike, tell us the meaning of the word Oraimo.
Ora is or her. That's general.
Yes.
General. Then Imo
Yeah.
is my state, is a place. So
Okay.
you can
You
join
have
it
not
together.
explained it well. Ora means a location. So the man takes the name of where he comes from, which is Imo State, and adds an adjective to it to qualify it. Imo community or Imo area. That's the meaning of Oraimo.
General,
He's
yeah.
an Igbo, a young
Ora.
Igbo boy. Ada Orama. Take the word Ora from there. So he takes his name, the name of his community, the name of his state, to produce something. Sent his brother to China to monitor what they are doing. And by the time the guy understands the process of what it's done, they begin to produce in their name and ship back here for sales. And they build confidence amongst themselves because of mentoring. Now, you can see that Oraimo, the man who started it, may be dealing with only charger. But by the time he has mentored another boy, the boy will be interested in phone package. Another of his boy will be interested in phone battery. All of them are still using the same name. So these boys now, when they have problem, they run back to the Oga who has a connection in China. And the Oga will call. He didn't see my company name. He said, okay, but you didn't tell him. He said, it's one of my boys. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
To tell you what a mentor can do. They don't change the receipt. They use the same receipt to sell for as long as they are selling. Nobody answers his own name. They answer the name of the Oga till even their own voice. If this person doesn't have it in the shop, they know the next person who can get it.
Exactly, yeah.
Why? Because the mentoring process creates a chain of people who are being developed and specialized in the same product. And so when it is time for Christmas, that is when you know that the man who is staying in the village, that his name is still selling market. The boss may be retired, but his business name is still making. When they seize their product, that's when you know that the Oga is Oga. From that his village where he's sitting down, he will call the head of customs.
Sir. Okay, sir.
I'm hearing you.
Okay. Longest time, sir. Family, sir.
Who is doing that?
Okay, no.
Hey, this DAD class. People are wonderful. I'm teaching. Somebody's making a discussion somewhere.
That is wrong. That is wrong, sir.
Okay. In that case, we'll close the class.
We can't hear the prof. Is he still on?
Prof is very, very much like network. Network is disturbing him.
Let's mute our phone so that we don't get him offended, though, please. Let's be matured enough to do that.
Prof is already offended. Some people were having discussions while the class was going on.
But it's very rude. It's very wrong. We shouldn't be doing this.
No, it
Huh?
always
Actually,
baffles me when
it's
mature students
very
are in a
poor.
class and just to
This is we
mute
are
your mic
mature
is a problem.
family
It's
family
very annoying, really.
You should know you're
We,
Very
we,
having
are, we,
annoying.
are,
lecture. You spoil
we are
our
not in the mic,
because of conversation. Not a good thing.
I would suggest you identify those that fail to unmute their mic or actually
Please